Ho, 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 wake up gamers, cause it's the big think dimension with KZ Excellent,
I'm optimistic about things.
Dan and Bob Video Games,
You see that mountain? You can fuck another man on that mountain.
and Mr. Feel,
I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus.
here on GigaBoots.
So, guys, I
DB Excellent.
Yes!
Guys, I regret to inform you that was Bob from a week ago. I've cut his audio into the stream. You see, he died from a house fire caused by the Stadia.
Oh no! Bob, you're so burning.
I sent the live stream of Bob catching on fire and the house burning down to Google, and they said I was on drugs and it wasn't real.
Now I'm a ghost Google. What's up with that?
Yeah, what's up with that, Google? Now I'm haunted by my co-host. This is terrible. Now his name's
KZ
Bob
and I
Video
can't even hear
Ghosts.
Bob. Dan just is imagining that he's hearing him.
All around me are familiar faces.
You know, Bob was here. He'd be talking about how Pokemon Sword and Shield's a 9 out of 10.
No.
Bob died, so Dan just broke out the alchemist circle and is like, "Fuck that, we have content to do."
I can't let
Found
him.
Bob to the dishwasher.
He doesn't get to shed this mortal coil. I'm bringing him back. I'm really glad that this week we played yet another game and did yet another spoiler cast. So what we've been playing is I've been playing Stadia. There are some things I didn't get to talk about on the live stream that I feel like I should talk about this time.
Well, hey, everybody. In case you missed the over an hour power hour of Stadia, I have great news. There's more.
There's a little bit more. The Stadia, as I mentioned before, hot enough to burn your fingerprints off, it seems, but allegedly doesn't overheat, according to Google.
Oh yeah, we investigated your claim that we were corrupt. Well, we found no evidence.
Weird.
I just used to make grilled cheese.
It's basically the fucking hey PlayStation ads with fucking Kevin Butler. It's those. It's just like, hey Google, I just made a grilled cheese on the Chromecast. No, you didn't. It's quite tasty. Can I have some? No.
Chromecast isn't even big enough to make a sandwich on, is it? You have to put like a pan on it and hope that works out?
That would work.
I made it with Ritz crackers. I made a grilled cheese out of Ritz crackers.
Oh, I love
Lunchables.
I love food that's made for the gram.
This
Instagram, that's what they say for food that looks neat but is fucking stupid.
Phil on his crusade again.
Against Instagrammers
What's
or
happening?
food? I'm not sure which crusade.
I didn't come up with this term. It's just something I saw somebody claim about cloud eggs, where you whip the white into a meringue and then put the egg back in it and fry it, and it has like a cloudy white.
I didn't think the show could like flip and roll over like this, like a car accident this quickly. But, records are made to be
Cloud
broken.
eggs are for the gram, not the mouth.
I'm curious as to what that tastes like. That sounds bizarre.
I'll post a picture of these
Okay.
because they look
Where are
super
we?
fucking weird.
I'd
Where
rather
are we?
not
Is this
even-
the Podlords?
No, we're not at the Podlords. I thought we were doing a Stadia segment, but then something went off in the background, and unfortunately,
eggs.
that left Feel able to post eggs. Oh, those are gross.
Cloud eggs.
Those are gross.
I'm not putting that
Yeah.
video.
Then no,
I'm
no,
sure
please don't.
Fuck people.
Anyway.
We don't want to become some weird egg channel.
So the Stadia, the Chromecast constantly fucking broadcasts images to your TV. It doesn't turn off. That's not a thing it does. It is just always on, always tapped into your internet.
Does it have a microphone?
Probably, but I can't see it. I'm sure it's in there, which is real great.
Gotta love Google.
What else? You have to turn on HDR from your phone app, which is such a clumsy thing. Like, I'm already in Destiny, and then I realize, Oh, I got to back out to change the display options. You can't even do it on the device itself. You have to boot up the Stadia app on your phone. So I do that, and I turn it on, and the game doesn't change. And then I realize I got to close the game and reboot it now that I've changed the setting in my fucking phone app. The Stadia is such a delightful experience, everyone. Oh, and the one game I bought is free next week. They didn't announce it beforehand.
So
They're so fucking... Jesus Christ. I put forward confidence at exactly $10, and they said, you fucked up.
Wrong choice.
You should have bought nothing, idiot. What's up?
That it's such a complete mess.
What a shame.
That I was like, this is just how all technology launches like this are going to be. And then we booted up Disney Plus the other day. I was like, oh, this just works. That's really weird. I didn't expect it at all.
Isn't it weird when a company finishes their product before they launch it, Google? Isn't that fucking bizarre? See,
you have access to a stable of Disney Channel original movies. What more could you want?
Well, actually, it's already started. We can openly talk about it. We did it so we could watch the prequels again because it's Star Wars month, motherfuckers.
Oh no.
Oh God.
We can actually talk about it. We've had this shit in the planning for actually, I talked to them about it 3 months ago. It's actually been about 4 months that we were planning on Star Wars month this month because
like joking about it, if nothing else.
I
believe you first told us and it sounded like a joke. Then we went, okay, we can do shows about this.
But yeah, no, we were trying to get all the equipment in line. The only disappointment I have about this month is I don't have a perfect quality PSP setup and I do not have a perfect quality Wii setup. But these are just things that are not quite ready yet because I've been dying under the workload. Also, this is why for the past 3 weeks of fucking Big Think, I've been like, I'm really busy and can't talk about it. I'm dying.
It's funny because people, that's just you all the time. You're like, I want to spoil content and I have 800 pounds of it in front of me.
Yep. Like, Dan, where'd you get that black eye? Find out next week.
Darth Maul did it.
Yeah. With his 3 spoken lines throughout all of episode 1.
Peter Serafinowicz best role.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nobody cares about Shaun of the Dead, Bob.
No,
just
Darth Maul.
No one cares.
Voice only.
No one cares about the Peter Serafinowicz show. No one cares. They just care about Darth Maul and his 3 lines of "We will have our revenge."
God, I honestly had no idea it was voiced by a different person until years later.
No, he's raw. You just got to watch Clone Wars. And see more Darth Maul.
Yeah, that's all right.
You know what's really fucked up?
What's that?
Peter Serafinowicz was actually going to voice Darth Maul in Solo, and then they dubbed him over with the guy from the fucking Clone Troopers thing. So it's the second time he's gotten fucked, and I'm like, this is awful. Why do you people keep doing this to him?
I guess they're like, whatever. He's been in all of our recent stuff. I guess we'll just fuck the actor over.
Oh, they hired him. They recorded the lines with Peter.
Oh.
Yeah, they literally recorded the lines and then dubbed him over with some other guy. And I'm like, what is going... Why are the fucking shit's weird, guys. You know what's really weird?
You know what's really funny? You know who voices Darth Maul in every single thing now?
Who?
Deacon Days Gone.
I was expecting Ben Diskin. So I've been...
Yeah, you know what? There was a non-zero chance.
No, it's Sam Witwer, aka Deacon Days Gone.
AKA Star Killer.
Star Killer. He also voices Palpatine in Star Wars Rebels.
God, what the heck? Why is he getting so much random Star Wars work?
I have no idea.
Who's in the studio? Do a few people.
Oh, wait, Darth Maul was in Solo?
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh,
he has crazy.
My brain blocked it
leg
out.
replacements because he was chopped.
Yeah,
in
he
half.
has that. Yeah, he has that in all the fucking shit.
Yeah,
because
in Clone Wars he came back, but he had like a spider robot legs. But then he got real legs for Star Wars Rebels.
He had real legs in parts of Clone Wars also, I think, because there's the part where he like teams up with his brother and kills this lesser Jedi. And then Obi-Wan goes sicko mode and kicks the shit out of them both at once.
I'm I want to talk about what we have planned for this month, but I don't want to give too much away. I do want to note that Thursday, we're kicking off the whole month with an Armchair Devs Star Wars featuring Dr. Aggro. It is very powerful, and it's hosted by Bob.
Engage.
It was quite something. Later in the month, much later in the month, we're going to be doing Star Wars Lethal Alliance. Now, Mr. Feel, without looking it up, what platform is that game on?
The PSP?
Yes. It is a third-person action game running on Unreal Engine 2 on the PSP.
Because I assumed, I never heard of it before, so I assumed that shit either has... Dan doesn't have a way to get footage from an N-Gage, so it must be something like the PSP.
It was PSP or DS.
Yeah, the DS version's pretty different, obviously. So I'm looking forward.
Yeah, Casey was thinking it was one of those two consoles, not both.
It was either one of those two. I wasn't saying it was both, but
let me check.
Let me
check. We were looking at a lot of stuff. I'm gonna just double check. Yeah, there is a DS version. I am correct on that. There is.
You play as one of those tentacle head ladies.
Yeah, you play as one of the tentacle head ladies. I'm gonna post the box art.
This is in the Dark Forces universe?
Don't worry about it.
The summary says Kyle Katarn tells her to go do a thing.
Oh, good, a Ubisoft Star Wars game.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what you wanted. So I'm staring at that right now in an actual UMD in the box. It's actually pretty good condition.
Be careful, those are dangerous.
Yeah, that's true. Right in front of me, I'm also staring at Star Wars The Clone Wars lightsaber duels for the Wii. I'm also very excited.
Oh, good, you're
that.
playing good games this month.
Oh, yeah.
That has to be just poison to touch.
I'm looking forward to it. I've not played that one yet, but we've got a lot of great stuff coming this month.
Are you going to give everybody what they need, which is a camera footage of Bob being forced to play the Star Wars dancing on Star Wars Connect?
Star Wars Connect will happen.
He's Solo. He's Bob Solo.
I'm not going to promise Bob.
I like the one where Palpatine says, "I will deal with you myself," and then just starts dancing at you.
No, it's fucking hilarious. It's weird because back then you would look at that and be like, man, the Star Wars brand has dropped to an all-time low. But like all we have nowadays are giant, really exploitative AAA games outside of the Fallen Order. I still haven't tried that as of this recording.
Right.
And phone games. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of preferable to get a lightsaber game for the Wii, a PSP Unreal Engine game, and a fucking dancing game for Kinect.
Yeah, there's so many of them back then.
Yeah. And that's really what this month is about. Like, they kind of stopped doing that, but if you look back, each platform before the PS3 really, and even the PS3 a little bit, had so many Star Wars games, and they're all such different takes on what would be a good Star Wars game. You know, like Rebel Assault 2 on the PS1. And then you also, at the end of that generation, get Jedi Power Battles and Episode 1, which are both very different things. Meanwhile, in the N64, you're getting Pod Racer and Shadows of the Empire, which are also very different. And also, you know, Rogue Squadron.
And Dark Forces running during all this.
In a menace game.
I'm very excited to record that, Mr. Feel. Oh, man. But yeah, like one of the strengths of us having all these setups is that we can do all these games, and most people can't.
Some people are too afraid of Star Wars Lethal Alliance. That's why I'm going to stop looking at this tab in Discord so I don't have to.
That title is so... It sounds like something that would be in one of our armchair dev pitches.
I mean,
yes.
It literally sounds
I don't know what this...
It's like one word off from a Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah, I was about to say, I just thought of the Mortal Kombat game. We have to put a stop to this deadly alliance.
No, it's Quan Chi. Like the reference in Mortal Kombat 9 anyway is Quan Chi going, You'll never stop this deadly alliance when you have to fight him and Shang Tsung at the same time.
That is Kino.
MK9 is unironically very Kino.
But yeah, no, looking forward to Star Wars month. I've been playing a lot of Star Wars games over the last few weeks. Star Wars Pinball, pretty enjoyable. I encourage everyone to watch that video. I don't care how lame it sounds to you. You fucking watch the Star Wars Pinball video later this month.
You gotta believe in pinball games. Like, Pokemon Pinball is great.
Yeah, Pokemon Pinball is really great. I might give that a 9 out of 10.
Dan, do you remember how many pinball boards there were? I think there were like 25. There might have been more.
No, there were well over 20. We bought 20.
Okay.
We bought 16 or 20 tables, and eventually we just had to stop jumping between them for the video because it was so many.
They're really
this
good
game
ones.
is like relatively new.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they're still releasing stuff for it, I think.
Uh-huh. And it's made by the people who made Zen Pinball. It's really cool, really cool. But aside from that, I haven't really played anything in the last week other than Pokemon, which we talk about our Pokemon Sword and Shield spoilercast. Bob, have you been playing anything over the last week?
I played a little bit of Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Oh, yeah, Sumo? You're getting your Sumo on? Okay.
Yeah, no, that's neat. It's cool to go back to it and see all these features that are just stripped out of the new game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know about that. I think you're making up some lies here.
It seemed like how
Ghost.
there are 4 islands and they all seem really big, and it's kind of crazy.
4 islands? Well, there's 8 gyms in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I think I've got numbers on you.
Oh no. 8 gyms, and like 6 of them almost feel like real gyms.
almost 6. Almost.
Almost 6 of them feel like 5 of them mostly feel like real gyms.
Okay, there we go. It's okay. Milo's strong enough to carry the whole game on his shoulders.
Even those shoulders aren't that wide.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I've been playing some Star Wars Fallen Order, but I feel like we're going to do content on that later.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that a lot. Just like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a lot like a Metroidvania style game.
That's what I hear.
A Metroid style game.
Like a real one?
Yeah.
It's like Metroid Prime, I hear from people named Eric.
Yeah, yes. I heard him say that. I was like, yeah, that's what, unfortunately what people are calling Dark Souls like now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I could have sworn they called everything in a video game Dark Souls like.
Yes, they do that too.
Okay.
There's no escaping it. They all got, as you would say in Dark Souls, greedy.
Stop it. Please stop.
Bob and I also watched Star Wars Episode 1 in the last week.
Oh, God. Please don't fill time on this podcast about the Phantom Menace.
Guys, it is amazing.
We
we
need
need
a
to watch.
refresher.
We need a refresher on all of the Star Wars, so that way when the new movie comes out later this month, we have watched all of them within recent history.
Also, we need to be ready for all these Episode 1 games we're going to play. Really know the events back and forward.
Exactly. That's really important.
I made the Armchair Deb Star Wars thumbnail, and I was like, some of this looks a little bit unrefined. Meanwhile, Dan's like, I watched Episode 1. This looks better than that.
Which, Bob, go to the Armchair Devs channel in this Discord and scroll up a bit to see the Armchair Devs Star Wars icon.
Yeah.
Click it and stare at the chairs on the left. He felt bad about that.
Yeah, that's around the same quality.
No, the fucking Episode 1 is so much worse.
Yeah, well, look, KZ didn't
He
have the balls.
specifically mentioned the Jedi Council looking bad.
Yeah, he didn't put a full bloom on the background to try and hide it.
Yeah, no, it's
The prequels did not age anything remotely approaching well.
Prequels looked bad when they came out, and now we have to
I
deal with it.
I gotta watch this movie this week.
yeah.
Even Revenge of the Sith, which came out in 2005
Yeah.
or 2004,
It was 2005.
I forget,
Yeah.
whichever.
Yeah, it was 05.
Like, they're just walking around on a PS2 background.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, it's insanely
I want to
rough.
live in a PS2. It's like waking up from the dream.
Like, I didn't think that Jar Jar Binks, I thought he would look bad, but I did not have a concept of how bad that would look.
And yet he's easily the best looking creature in the whole film by a lot. Because
He's
anytime
the funniest character we've ever made.
it's the funniest character we've ever made.
I'm wondering if they aged worse than the aliens in The Force Awakens are going to age. Because even when I watched that movie the first time, I thought, wow, some of these aliens look bad.
Oh no, the costumes are also the worst ever. Like the kid.
I don't remember anything looking particularly bad in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Force Awakens looked pretty good compared to.
Some of the aliens in like the cantina scene I thought looked really bad, and the big monster in Han Solo's trash ship I also thought looked particularly bad.
It looked
No.
CGI-ish,
Yeah.
sure, but it didn't look. Wow, this PS1 CG cutscene's incredible.
You guys need to watch Attack of the Clones just to realize every clone trooper is CGI. There's no reason for it. A clone trooper costume does not exist in those movies. They're all CGI and they look so hideous.
We're gonna get to a point where we realize they're using the Guitar Hero crowds techniques, and they're just copying and pasting one dude 37 times.
There was a moment in episode 1 where I thought they did that was the crowd.
That's true. Yeah, that crowd looks really bad.
Sometimes the prequels look like the crowds in Smash Bros.
Yeah. So looking forward to watching episode 2 probably after the podcast tonight. Is there anything else you played, Bob?
No, not really.
But yeah, thoughts on episode 1 compressed or condensed. That plot is still
I thought you
fucking
meant the video.
No, I'm just saying like condensing the thoughts on episode 1. That plot is still fucking spaghetti garbage and everything looks bad. The fucking Jedi Council's outrageously bad, with the climax of the film for like emotional delivery and the conclusion of it having the back of Samuel L. Jackson's head glow green because they forgot to edit out the green screen spill.
Every time he's on screen, there's a thread of that.
I have to watch it now.
The bloom is so low resolution and so bad because they're like, well, it's really bright outside behind them. How do we show that it's bright and real? Well, let's bloom it. It looks like Valkyrie Profile 2 on the PS2.
It looks worse.
It does. It actually does look worse than that. But it's a very low resolution image buffer. They're just like blurring with it. It looks really fucking rough. But looking forward to episode 2 tonight, right, Bob?
Yeah. I mean, I was a big fan of the Gungan Society where everything in the background was just blue. Like it was just one shade of dark blue. It was like, this doesn't look at all like ocean. What are you guys doing?
God, I forgot they visited the Gungan city for 15 seconds.
Yeah, no, I forgot they had to go through the planet underwater.
Yeah, they went through the core of the Earth.
We shall give you the bongo. And I'm like,
Yes, that's that movie. Also, what was it? Bob,
what's up?
Because I know we're going to not really talk about Star Wars for the rest of this podcast. Tell them the fucking sentence you heard about prequels.
Oh my God. I heard this from a coworker a long time ago who was like, what? You're not old enough to not like the prequels. Only people who are really old and only or grew up with the original trilogy or don't like the prequels.
What? As someone
You're
who
not
was
a boomer.
as someone who wasn't alive for the entire original trilogy being released and wasn't really raised on that, and then still watched the new movies when they first came out, this is the most insane thing I've ever heard.
Right? It's like what were we like? Probably around 13 or something.
No, when episode 1 came out, Bob, we were like 11 or some shit.
Yeah, it was like we were.
It was like 1999.
Yeah,
we were.
12. I was 11.
Yeah.
And like watching the movie in theaters, I'm like, what's with this plot? I'm not really following it. Oh, lightsabers.
That's exactly what I felt as a child. Yeah, like this is stupid. Oh, they use their lightsabers. Oh.
Also, and this
I'm a dumb baby, and the amount of lightsabers I see is equivalent to how good the movie is.
I wasn't quite that tier, but
look, when Qui-Gon Jinn used his lightsaber to cut open the blast door, it was very cool.
That was
very cool. It was very cool.
That was raw then. That's raw now.
Them hiring someone half Natalie Portman's age as her love interest is the fucking weirdest thing in the world. Of like, oh, here's Anakin. He's 9 years old, and he's got the hots for this 18-year-old Natalie Portman. And then the next movie, they hire a completely different dude because they were like, oh, this gets really creepy if we just keep moving 3 years forward at a time.
Isn't she supposed to be 14?
She's 18 when she acted that character.
Yeah, and it's really obvious, too. Like, there's a gigantic age gap.
Anakin's 9. It's so fucking awkward. They're Googling this because they don't believe us.
I'm Googling. I remember her
No, I'm
being
corpsing.
stupidly... Okay, birth or born.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
sick.
insane. I'm convinced that Anakin was supposed to be a teenager.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, there are even lines about the Jedi Council like, nah, he's too old. It's like, dude, he's 9. Do you guys get these at infancy?
She was 14 in The Phantom Menace.
Natalie Portman was?
No, her character.
Problem, she was portrayed by Natalie fucking Portman.
Look, all I know is what George Lucas wrote.
All I know is that was an 18-year-old on screen getting sexed up by a 9-year-old. All I can see is what's on the screen. The script doesn't fucking matter. So that's a real moment where you're just like, what the fuck was he thinking hiring these two people to eventually be a love thing when they knew they were going to bash out at all those movies back to back?
Yeah, it's insane.
It's fucking nuts.
I mean, if you, I watched like a documentary about the creation of the prequels. One that is less, inherently hostile to George Lucas than others, let's say. And he just had no plans for anything. So what he'd do is he'd write something and then he would go, oh shit, this doesn't work. Instead of going back, he'd add more shit on to make it work.
I mean, that's how it feels.
That's what we call bad writing. I don't know how
that
this...
too. Just like, oh man, I want to get the water community in there. They're gonna have cool toys. Oh man, but how are they gonna get
How
back
am I
to the
going
main
to fit
story?
this in the script? I guess they jump in a lake and swim to the city underwater. Well, they would
The
drown.
entire
That looks
reason,
pretty cool.
How are they
the
going to
entire
not
reason
drown?
Qui-Gon Jinn, it's so insane to just hear him talk like, oh, I want this to happen, but this has to show beforehand because it wouldn't make sense otherwise, so I have to add more shit before it, and it becomes crazy.
So, were you gonna say something about Qui-Gon Jinn not existing until halfway through the movie, and then he had to make him up? Because I worry that happened.
The only reason Qui-Gon Jinn existed is because he wanted to show what a normal Jedi student relationship looked like before Anakin became a student. So that's the only reason Qui-Gon Jinn existed. Originally, Qui-Gon Jinn just didn't fucking exist. It was just Obi-Wan.
Fantastic. Do you remember the name of that thing?
SF Debris, sfdebris.com did it. It's called,
The Hermit's Journey.
yeah, The Hermit's Journey. He did a set of these videos for the production of each of the first movie and then the second and third and then the prequels.
This shit's over 6 hours and 15 minutes long. Sorry, 3 hours and 15 minutes long.
Just him going through what George Lucas says. It's like, it's so strange. It's like somebody purely viewing a film is like building something with absolutely no thought to emotion at all.
Yeah, no, it's clear that he can't write for dick. We haven't even gotten to the episode 2 and episode 3, like, to deal with the actual love, the evolution of the loving relationship between the two, where the writing is just so stilted. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. How about you, Bob?
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of Natalie Portman T-posing.
God, yeah. About that, Anakin's actor is so much better than Natalie Portman. It's a shame that he's the one that got recast in the next film.
Oh man, what if they just recast like a more appropriately aged girl?
That would be the funniest shit in the world. Where they're just like, she got younger over films, don't ask about it.
Oh my god.
We realized she was 18 years old and did not pass for 14 in the least.
But then we have freaking Anakin like murdering younglings while he's 16. Oh, I want to see that series.
I'm pretty sure that's called Ender's Game.
Yeah.
God, I feel like the other two are even worse than the Phantom Menace.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case because they're not even filmed on film, so no part of it will look good.
Because just in the Clone Wars, there's stuff like the Chancellor cannot make an army, but will vote to give the Chancellor emergency powers to make an army.
I mean, in the first one, they elect a new chancellor like in a night.
Yeah, no, they're like, we are not going to have time to convince these people that crime is happening on that planet that they could point a telescope at and see the fucking war from space. We need to elect a new chancellor. And it's like, excuse me?
Yeah.
That's faster?
Yeah, I was like, how is that?
A new Chancellor that being elected does nothing?
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
it makes the most sense. It's a very well thought out movie. Anyways, KZ, what did you play in the last week?
Nothing. Next.
Nothing.
I guess we can go into news then, unless you're forgetting anything.
I forgot about all those wonderful people who give us gifts, the Pod Elves.
The Pod Elves!
The pod
I didn't
elves?
even see him down there.
The Pod Elves might be the funniest name we've given the Pod Lords. Yeah. Hopefully we can land it.
If we can just get them working.
We can just get them working.
You know, it's we're calling them the Pod Elves, and December, it's like poetry, it rhymes.
Come on, I need a win.
Pod Elves such as Danny Richardson, Notgak, E. Lee Broyles, Dandy Cageford, the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger of Podlords. Such value.
Yep.
Dank Mormons, Red Blaze 27, Team Galactic Admin Jucifer, Suzu Shiro, Emperor Zero, Sheep Heavenly, the EV trainer that gives you a helping hand during a 5-star raid. Shining Gurren returns from the hell of not having a job.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good hell to get out of.
Your friendly neighborhood Waluigi stand. Moon Muse Entertainment Studio. Things worked out with that girl, but Podlore names are still okay. Ape Grape Scion. Alan Gothic. Mr. Feel once bit a child for being taller than him.
True. That fucking child deserved it.
Be nice to retail and delivery workers. Hashtag Busey Gang. Hashtag
This is coming out
Busey
after
Gang.
this is coming out after Thanksgiving, so the moment is lost, but do not go shopping on Thanksgiving ever in your life.
Don't
We
do it,
will
guys.
win this cultural war, and those sociopaths will learn to stay closed on Thanksgiving.
And also don't do it on Black Friday. There might be skaters that do things.
101 frames of input lag on Stadia.
Far too few.
Thank you very much to our Pod Elves.
Thank
thank
Podlove.
Pod Elves.
Thank the Pod Elves.
Thank you, Pod Elves.
Thank you, Pod Elves.
You might bring me socks this year. That's always exciting. Now that I'm an adult.
That's not how that works. Oh, socks. Socks are the most exciting present if we can just get it to work. The
Jolly Green's Giant's ass is really cool. If we can just get it to work.
Only if we could get it to twerk.
News.
So hey, I wanna shame some companies for once. I'm not Feel, and I want to do that. Isn't that fucking revolutionary?
I mean, I think you won't threaten that. I don't think you'll say they should die, and you'll be reasonable. So maybe it's okay.
Possibly. So Intel did some scummy shit. People maybe not aware of this outside of the tech reviewer circles who basically outed them for doing this. Bob, you know what happened?
What had happened?
So Intel has basically not been able to innovate or improve on their processors for 3 years running now.
That sounds right. Yeah.
The high-end desktop market, they haven't improved their processors at all. They've just been making mildly better deals this whole time as AMD started catching up and catching up and catching up. Well, they saw the writing on the wall. They knew they were fucked this month when AMD announced their new Threadripper CPUs. So you know what they did? They slashed their prices by half, and then they let the NDA lift for their processors mere hours before AMD. Because AMD openly said, we're going to let everyone talk about our processors on this day. Intel was like, our NDA needs to end 8 hours ahead of that.
God.
So that way no one can compare our CPUs with AMD's new CPUs in the videos they prepared for when the NDA lifts. Because they would still be under NDA for the AMD CPUs. It is such a shitty, scummy thing to do that in Linus Tech Tips reviews of these highly unremarkable processors, he spent the first half of the video just shaming them. I have never seen this in my life.
I have to watch this.
It's funny. He calls them chicken and weasel fucks, basically. It's so hilarious.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's got to be good because Linus Tech Tips might be the whitest person I've ever seen.
Well, he's Canadian vanilla, so, you know, he comes in very alabaster. But yeah, no, and the thing is, they did this because those AMD CPUs, the new Threadripper 3960X and 3970X, are unbelievably more powerful than anything Intel can offer, to the point where, Bob,
What's up?
Intel is now the value brand. They can't put up anything to compete with AMD.
That's weird.
They are wiping the floor with Intel. It is fucking nuts. I've never seen, guys, this situation hasn't been this way in 15 years. It's been 15 fucking years since AMD had better performance. They have better performance now by a fucking landslide. It is absolutely insane. So these new processors from AMD are just completely nuts. If you make content, if you do video production, they are for you. They're a little pricey though. So, you know, Intel lowering their prices is technically a better move that people maybe would have been appreciative of if they didn't do the scummiest fucking thing in the world and end their NDA right before their competition, so that way no one could compare them directly. But yeah, no, the difference in fucking performance is huge. Absolutely fucking enormous, to the point of being a joke in some workloads. You know, it depends on what you're doing. To explain, these Intel CPUs have, let's see, 18 cores. That's the highest end they have for the high-end desktop market from Intel. AMD's has 32 fucking cores. And in, I think, 3 months, they're coming out with a 64-core version.
Oof.
It is fucking nuts. They are just knocking the doors off of this shit. They're like, fuck it. Have all the goddamn cores in the world. It is so fucking powerful. I honestly would love to get one of these, but I have absolutely no plans of as of right now. But yeah.
I'll look into it when I need to upgrade.
You just got a new PC. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I've had this rig for a while. I was looking into upgrading it.
This rig for a week?
No, 3.
Whoa.
Wow, you're
Incredible.
going to upgrade that almost as fast as Dan upgrades OLEDs.
Hey, whoa, hey. That was 15 months. And
The OLED's name is Wilma.
and one OLED is Bob's and the other is mine. Ha.
Oh, Betty.
Bob, which one of us has the Betty?
I guess I'll take that.
Okay. Yeah, but Wilma's a bitch. I don't.
Yeah, that's.
Anyway, also, I don't want to be Fred.
I don't know, Dan. It was a pretty convincing
No, too late.
picture.
No, too late.
That's true. Hey, Talk did that edit. It was a pretty convincing picture. But yeah, I
Then you
posted.
got,
I'm trying to think if there's anything where Barney Rubble like had a very iconic position, like frame. Like that's a very iconic scene for Fred.
Oh yeah, no, him driving up to get food in the drive-in movie is pretty iconic. Whereas fucking
just take one of the screenshots from the old Flintstone cigarette commercials where they're talking
God.
about how it's like a vacation.
delicious LG OLEDs, they're like a vacation. You fucking caveman, now buy one. But yeah, anyways, I would definitely check out, like, if you do some mean ass shit on your PC, those new Threadrippers are great. Of course, all of these processors are sold out. It's fucking launch day. So,
Next month, right? Something like that?
something like that, probably. Also, I don't think anyone listening to this most likely has a workflow that needs 64 cores, let alone 32. So, maybe stick to the 24 core or the 32 core. Anyway, we got some other news.
Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition got announced for the Switch. It's coming out February 20th, 2020.
I'm just surprised they didn't announce the original edition and then later the special edition, since they seem to want to nickel and dime Switch owners.
Yes, it's insane.
I don't see the point in this release. How are they going to top 2?
I'm really glad 3 is now on a portable. Well, will be. That's pretty
DMC2
cool.
Goat.
They're also releasing the collection, which DMC1 is the only one actually on the cart.
That collection is also only in Japan.
Yes.
Oh, is it only in Japan?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So don't bother importing if you just want to have or unless you just want to have a download version of 2 and 3 and then a cart for the first game.
That's a person.
The cart only has 2 and you have to download 1 and 3.
Oof. That's bad.
Yeah, no, that's
That's
really
a Switch
bad.
cart that's only use is licking to taste the horrible bitter flavor.
I like some people being like, oh man, February 2020? Isn't that when we're going to see the final Smash character?
Could be.
They were going based on that like DLC Fighters Pass thing they made when Smash came out, and they're like, the deadline to put out the characters February.
Oh, okay.
So it's not even like the confirmed date of the next one even.
Are you telling me this Smash Brothers character speculation isn't based on hard facts?
Or anything really?
It's based on hopes and dreams, and you know what? I can respect that.
Yeah, at least we're safe from Tracer, so I don't have to feel dread anymore.
You're never safe from Tracer, Feel.
They said
Oh no, I'm pretty safe from Tracer.
Oi!
Yeah, no, when
Oh god, it's KZ's verbal tick.
Chiz, love the DLCs here.
when Blizzard's come down and said, hey, they're welcome to use any Overwatch character they want. It's like, okay, it's not happening.
Please put my
then
characters in your game. Highly iconic characters.
This isn't how this works, man. They call you. Come be cool, dude.
And then there was a 3-month news cycle of everybody calling Blizzard the worst.
Can you imagine that it was actually real? And then Sakura's like, pull it, everyone, retrofit this. Make Gino blink and give him a pulse bomb.
That'd be the funniest thing in the world if the 5th character is just super obviously was originally intended to be Tracer.
Okay, so this is Dante. He has 2 little baby guns. They do the blasts, right? And then he summons Reinhardt.
Oh, that's fucking. He summons Nilo Angelo,
like,
who's now more ripped than ever.
Let's see. I got some other news here.
Uh-huh.
Facebook just acquired Beat Games, the guys who made Beat Saber.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That's the VR rhythm thing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It has lightsabers. We should play it for Star Wars month.
That's one of that's one of those games where I'm like, oh, that'd be neat to play. Oh no, not for VR prices, no.
Yeah, I that's why when people are like, hey, what VR setup do you have or recommend? I'm like, PlayStation VR is the cheapest. On Black Friday, it's like $200. That's so much more affordable than $1,000.
I think I
which
saw
some of the PC VR goes for.
some VR headset on PC, like one of the Vive or something, was down to $600, and that was their sale price. I was like, oh man, that still hurts.
Yeah,
what a
that's
bargain.
3 times as much. I'm very interested in what they're going to do with the PS5's VR, because they clearly are interested in continuing VR,
Right.
which is smart.
You know who isn't interested in doing VR?
Oh, who's saying stuff about VR?
Phil Spencer.
Oh,
He said, we're not doing VR because we don't think people want it.
holy
He
shit.
said,
Jesus Christ.
He specifically said nobody's asking for it.
nobody's asking for it. Nobody's selling millions of them. It's not a focus for us because people just don't seem to want it.
Did you see Shu Yoshida's tweet about that?
No, I'm sure it's
PlayStation,
delightful.
where he put a little emoji and went, "We oftentimes work hard to make things that no customers are asking for."
I mean, that's not exactly untrue. Many companies have done exactly that. We just talked about the Stadia.
Okay, you are not about to relate VR to Stadia.
Right, like this.
I'm
I feel
not.
like it's a more positive light.
Yeah.
Man, that fucking...
I mean, Phil Spencer is right in the sense that Microsoft has a billion fucking problems to take care of before they start expanding into VR.
Yeah, if they had said that, I would agree with this. But them being like, no one likes VR, I'm like, fucking bullshit. Like, they do. You guys said you were bringing it, and then you just didn't. Like,
Yeah,
there were years there where people keep going, hey, where's VR? And they're like, what? We're working on it. We swear.
It was sounding more and more like they were going to partner with Oculus or something.
That was
VR?
what they changed to at one point, yes.
I remember,
Originally,
like, a
they were coming up
Minecraft
with their
Oculus
own
thing.
solution. Oh, that's mixed reality for Windows. That's a thing. It exists.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not remotely within the price point of fucking console VR. That shit costs thousands.
I wonder like what this was in context of, like if this was just some review or interview snippet that we're getting.
Yeah,
Maybe
it was
larger.
an interview snippet that got made into a news story from Steve Ivor, a website I still don't know what it is.
Huh. That sounds like a terrible website. But yeah, I feel like...
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing the full statement now. It doesn't sound as bad. Where he goes, I have some issues with VR. It's isolating. I think games is a communal kind of get-together experience. We're responding to what our customers are asking for. Nobody's asking for VR right now. The vast majority of our customers know if they want an experience with VR, you can do that on PC and other places. I think we might get there eventually, but not right now. That's not our focus.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I assume this was not a written interview. I assume it was just him speaking.
Right.
Because that would make more sense. One stupid sentence in the middle of someone talking is a lot less important, I feel. Like, it's not like he believes in this strongly. I think he just led with, nobody's asking for that, and then he rolled around to, it's not our focus, and that could go elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's more important for Microsoft to focus on the system itself than VR. Like, God,
if the thing launched with VR, it's like you have to buy the VR version. It's $2,000.
No.
We put VR tech inside the Scarlett, so it's $300 more.
They're not going to do the VR because they have to bring back the Kinect again.
Connectables 2 is going to be the big system seller.
Where's Milo?
Bob, you said connectables, and my head snapped back as I traveled backward a full fucking decade, I feel like.
They're animals and also connect.
Oh, Connectimals. Okay.
Yeah, Connectimals.
It's like Danimals, but for
fuck
Xbox.
Is that?
It's like Lunchables, but for Connect. Connectables.
An add-on called Connectimals Bear Island was released, and they bundled it with the main game to call it Connectimals, now with bears.
Yes, I was like, I thought that was just called Connectimals with bears. But
So this is insane. We need to get off the topic of Connectimals, Bob. Do you have any other news?
yeah, sure. There's a rumor that Resident Evil 3 remake is coming out next year. And it's actually from a somewhat reputable source. Apparently, Spawn Wave, a YouTube channel that reported early on Elden Ring before that was officially announced.
Oh yeah, they were that.
That'd be cool because RE3 kind of sucked. So like a remake that makes it as good as RE2 make would be good.
Yeah, I've said that a few times in the GigaBoots Discord and here on the podcast. I think there's so much more value in remaking 3 because I don't like 3 at all.
Yeah,
I think it's an interesting story to tell.
Imagine,
but I don't like that game.
I can't imagine it would have to be mechanically that different from RE2 make and also use most of the same assets. So I could believe that they could crank that out pretty fast.
I mean, yeah, I would use all the same systems and stuff, I assume.
I wouldn't be shocked that the reason Mr. X is so much more prominent is because they're like, well, we should probably do 3 and just have Nemesis work similarly. where he just pops up.
Nemesis is so much fucking scarier than Mr. X.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about? They're both real cool.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
They are.
Sometimes you'll go through a door and he's like, "Oh, where'd you go?" And then he just fucking leaves.
Then he goes upstairs.
Every time I think of Nemesis, I just think of the rubber suit version of Nemesis from the movie.
See, and
So I
that's
can't
why
be
they
scared.
that's
I've
why they
seen
need
that
to remake
movie.
this.
It's really cool.
I hate that version of Nemesis because it has human eyes, and I feel like that ruins it.
That's
It
why
has
they.
human eyes, so what the fuck is her name?
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, so she can stare into his eyes and see the human he used to be, and I'm like, ah.
That's Kino.
It's so dumb.
Man, you want to talk Kino? You need to see that 5th movie.
We'll get there
that
eventually.
sounds like something we'll have to watch for content.
Yes.
Bob, could you imagine? Because Bob was dragged through the entire series with me, except for the most recent one. Bob, can you imagine someone not watching any of the others and getting thrown into that?
Oh man, that would be pretty epic.
That would be delightful.
You get to skip the awfulness that is 3,
Oh,
but
man,
you also
fuck
miss
3.
it on some of the insanity that's in 4.
Yeah, you missed the 37 fucking Mila Jovoviches of the intro of 4.
What?
Oh, you guys don't know how amazing those movies got.
Those movies are great.
I have a vague idea. I remember.
I'm looking forward to a potential idea.
Yeah.
What I mean, people are upset about the movie Monster Hunter movies from the same people. I'm like, no, that's going to be great if they anything like the Resident Evil movies got.
But Bob, they heard the second movie was cheesy back when cheesy was like a sin. You
Right.
couldn't be cheesy at all.
Mhm.
And they've just held the opinion that Resident Evil movies are bad ever since.
I have more of an. I'm more against that Monster Hunter movie because it looks like an Angry Joe review.
Okay, you found one screenshot where one dude looks exactly like Angry Joe's brother, and it's fucking incredible.
Yes,
I think
going
that's
to be
like
the
just some
joke
famous
forever.
Asian actor.
It is.
God, what's wrong with you guys?
But it's also because he's in a video game costume, and that's what Angry Joe bits always open with.
Yeah, he always. All of Angry Joe's reviews involve that specific person he looks like wearing a video game costume. So it's really funny.
I'm sure once the color grade and everything's done, because I'm sure it's one of those from the set pre-production image.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
totally
was.
looked like it. That's why it looked like an Angry Joe video.
I know.
Yeah, because it has no quality control at all.
It's the funny thing about like game reviewers who try to do that epic scale. It's like, so this is how movies would look if they didn't spend months in post.
Angry Joe's like, I gotta push out this review in 2 days. Let me see if Party City's open.
And then he turns into a Devil May Cry troll and dances down to Party City.
With
Oh,
his
you must have seen
$6.
his DMC5 review.
No.
His
no, I
DMC
refuse.
5 review
No.
where Nero's arm was an egg beater wrapped in tinfoil.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Epic seal of
Speak-
approval.
Speaking of zombies and corpses,
Uh-huh.
Battleborn received its date of death, which is January 2021. Don't worry though, you will no longer be able to buy any premium currency in February of next year.
I found it amazing that during that announcement, they were also like, no, you can't, they won't be able to use your own servers or play it offline in any way. It will be gone completely.
Yeah, they never engineered a way for people to do that, and they can't justify the cost of engineering a way for people to do that.
So that game's just completely,
It's gone.
never
Yep.
existed.
It doesn't
basically.
function. The
good.
disc does nothing.
Oh my god.
Bob, you remember that guy we know who tried to talk us into playing Battleborn instead of Overwatch?
Yeah.
He's
Oh.
all, he's all
Okay,
I could think
I have
about.
a question.
Yeah.
Was this man in a trench coat with a little fake mustache, and he went, well, Battleborn is FPS. Hobby grade co-op campaign, genre blended, multi-mode competitive esports, meta growth, choice plus epic Battleborn heroes.
And then
Yeah.
he said, "You want some heroin?"
I
And
think he-
offered him a needle.
I think he
You
said
wanna go to
most of
medieval
that,
times?
but it was hard to figure out through all the slurring. See, in his left hand was a half-drank bottle of wine.
In the other hand, a
Thunderbird.
mysterious USB thumb drive.
Yeah, it was real weird.
Oh, thank God I can shut down Battleborn. I need that room on the servers for other things.
Oh.
Oh, no.
He also told me about this cool subreddit.
God, no.
So for people who don't know, we actually did give Battleborn a chance back in the day. We didn't call it that. We didn't call the video that. But maybe we should do more one more giving games a chance for Battleborn before it shuts down.
Maybe, yeah. You know, it doesn't have long left. The Twilight years of Battleborn.
This is going to be the most polished it has ever been.
Yes.
It's gotten every update.
Now I'm like, did we actually
Did it
release a
ever
video
go
or
free
did
to
we
play,
actually...
or is it just existing like, no, you can still pay?
Wasn't it going something close to it? And then Jason Schreier said it's free to play, and then Randy Pitcher said, "Stop lying, media."
Yeah, that's how I remember that going.
Probably.
That's how I remember that.
Because there's this thing where people are like, "It's gonna go free to play," and he's like, "No, it's not." Then
We're just gonna kill it.
Then it somewhat did. Then he got mad. Now it's dead.
Now, it has a free multiplayer thing that it got in 2017. I don't think it ever went free.
No.
Free to play entirely.
No, it never did. And man,
me and
that's
Casey
dumb.
get that free trial to play it.
So now's a
big Think Dimension plays Battleborn.
Now's a good time to watch the Crow B Cat video, Battleborn to Blunderborn. Very good video. It's a montage of all of the pre-launch hype.
Oh god, that hurt. Come at me, bro.
I'm just remembering when we were...
Congrats to Battleborn for outliving those 2 Cliffy B games in a row.
Yeah.
We were talking about on Twitter having recorded a video of the game when it's pre-release status.
I can tell this story.
Go for it, Dan.
So we were talking to a viewer and friend at the time about how we had access to the Battleborn beta and how we were thinking about maybe doing a video for special people. We were thinking about it. This is what we tweeted. She goes, "Nah, man, you don't want to do that. Gearbox is constantly searching tweets to see if anyone's breaking NDA." The community manager of Gearbox at the time then just liked her tweet. Didn't say anything. Can you...
Shark.
Yeah, can you fucking imagine being that bored?
Yeah,
I just... Not coming out and being like, oh, you can't... Kids, keep in mind, me and Bob didn't do anything special. Like, we just got the NDA, or the beta. In fact, I'm not even sure we signed an NDA, to be perfectly honest, because this was years ago and we didn't exactly go out there and try to get content.
Yeah, no, this was just like, it was public. No, I guess it was a private one, maybe?
It was just one of those ones you sign up for.
Yeah, you just signed up for it. It was nothing to do with media coverage of eligibility or anything.
Like, we didn't even do it as GigaBoots. Like, It was just Bob, like, put in his email. They sent him the game.
This looks epic. I gotta try it.
Yes,
right?
That's what Bob said. And then he dabbed.
The NDA thing makes me remember there was some fucking MMO. It might have been Elder Scrolls Online. I might be making that part up, but I know it was some MMO that got an open beta, and they were like, to stop you from sharing it, your screen threw your email address all over the screen.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that before. I'm trying to remember what I saw that in. Can't remember right now, but yeah.
Yeah, I've seen other ones where they have a special code that the code's like all over the screen and is your exact copy of the game.
Right. Which is smart, honestly. I just thought it was really fucking lame that they wouldn't come out and say anything, just that they liked a tweet. And that was all they said.
What a surprise. Somebody Gearbox being passive aggressive and shitty.
Right. And it was like 2 weeks out from launch. Yeah. Like it wasn't a beta super early or anything.
Yeah, no.
We don't want anybody to promote our game. Immediately crashes into the side of the ravine.
It was very smart.
If you talk about it now, you'll realize how bad it is. Guys, if it's bad now,
go on.
How much
What's
are you
your point?
fixing in 2 weeks?
So
Did
much
you
don't
see-
even know.
Did you see the fucking press release from Game Freak about trying to hunt down the dude who leaked Pokemon?
I heard that was about the strategy guide. That is what I heard.
I heard it was about the game, but the point is that they claimed, and it was typical PR speak, but just after all the stuff was like, leaking the game did irreputable damage to the Pokemon brand, and I just started laughing, thinking of all the video clips people shared pre-launch and got mad at.
You're just thinking of the dog spinning.
Yeah,
I
thinking
mean-
of the dog spinning and the video showcasing that when you touch a ladder, you enter the frozen time.
Zawardo.
It's like those are things that
That got me
shipped
more
into
excited for the game. I'm like, oh, cool, time stop.
But yeah, I was hearing, I didn't actually look into it, but somebody was saying that the action from Game Freak is based on the strategy guide, not necessarily stuff from the game, but, you know, haven't looked into it. Don't actually know myself.
When that game leaked, most of the first information came from like the strategy guide.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember seeing
immediate art.
a really blurry picture of Grimmsnarl, and I'm like, they didn't fucking make his Impoten's final evolution the Green Goblin. Fuck off, that's fake. And then it wasn't.
And that's when you went, oh.
And I went, impressive. So let's talk about Stadia again.
No!
So, Dan, didn't the games you played on Stadia look like shit?
Yes, they looked like absolute shit, which shocked me because they have a 10 teraflops GPU. They told me this months ago, and they told me the games would look incredible in 4K
Well-
60.
Well, don't worry, Dan. It wasn't Google's fault. The reason every game on the service looks bad is because of the developers.
Oh, that's a really smart move for a corporation to make. To say it's the developers'
Just got
fault.
up on stage and threw their partner developers under the fucking bus.
Oh, after the customers, yeah.
This, I wonder if they're gonna if now it's going to come out, because this statement might have upset somebody. Like, yeah, Google told us that we would have this much resources for our game, and then later they told us no, actually this much.
I'm sure whatever it is, it's that this platform isn't made by people who've ever made fucking video games, so they don't understand how to make a platform good for streaming or good for running a game. And then on top of that, it's like you're a game developer for Google Stadia. You have two choices: make your game prettier, and the compression of the stream will demolish all that effort you put in, or you can make your game run at a better frame rate, and it'll still feel awful. Because it's fucking on Stadia. It's a catch-22. There's nothing you can do. There's no winning move.
Then there's like Red Dead 2, where it's like, no, it still runs at 30, but have worse settings than the Xbox One X.
I think if you set your stream quality to lower, it will run it at a higher frame rate. I think that's what people found out.
Oh my god.
You have to set your feed to not... Yeah, you have to set your feed to not be 1440p and instead be 1080p. And by 1440p, I mean 4K. And then it'll run the game at 1080p
True
60.
4K.
This is what I've heard. I believe Digital Foundry talked about that. It is completely insane. Why is everything so insane with Stadia?
Dan, I still have one more thing with Stadia.
Yeah, what's up?
You know those old 1,000-degree knife challenges? Do you think
Yeah.
you do that just with the power of Stadia?
Oh, yeah.
Just put your knife on it.
1,000-degree
You just
Stadia
set the
challenge.
knife on it.
And the knife melts. It's like, oh, the Stadia is so hot, it burned through the knife that I thought
I'm
was
gonna cut
really
my
hot.
OLED in half.
Dan pulls out his lightsaber and the blade is just a Stadia.
Yep. The hilt of the thing is just a Stadia on a stick. All I'm doing is plugging it into a battery.
It's the crystal you put in to power the lightsaber.
Yes. Bob, you
It's
know the name
Kylo
of it.
Ren's lightsaber. That's why it has those fucked up vents and can't contain its own power.
Now I'm just imagining the Stadia being a brand. Like,
Oh, like you put it on someone's skin and it burns them with the Stadia?
yeah, it has a logo.
Those are called founders.
Dan just wakes up tonight and Phil Harrison's standing over him with the Stadia on an iron rod. He's like, Stadia founder, Dan. Just jabs it on his neck.
I'm like, no, I liked you in the Sony years. No.
Oh
Please
god,
no.
this is just like the curse mark in Naruto.
Dan, talk about the Mr. Console.
So for people who haven't heard me talk about it before, the Mr. Console is an FPGA open source thing where people can make their own homebrew cores. So it's kind of like these analog systems in that they emulate retro consoles through FPGA technology, which makes it low latency and can effectively be better for emulating stuff. Somebody made an FPGA core for the Game Boy Advance for this Mr. Console. I've yet to check it out, but that's pretty exciting because then that thing could get... It offers us options. It seems really neat. I still haven't built the Mister. Hey, Bob, you know when we got the Mister?
I think he said it was 6 months ago.
6 months ago at the end of Castlemania, and I haven't had the time to fucking build it. In 6 months.
Shame. What a shame.
It is a shame. It is a terrible shame. But I need to build that, and we need to check out that core because it's probably a little fucky, and tell me Retro Game Roulette where things might fuck up isn't a funny stream.
It's like you already have a reliable way to do this. No, this is way funnier.
Yeah, exactly. This is way funnier. You kidding me? But yeah, that's all that's up with that.
Cool.
People are alleging it might be that the guy who does the analog stuff made this core and just leaked it out. But
that'd be funny.
I don't know if there's any evidence for that, but yeah, it would be funny. What other news do you guys have?
KZ, we have cool news that KZ brought.
Okay. So, they put out some new Final Fantasy VII Remake info. They did a PlayStation blog post with a lot of screenshots, but the meteor, I guess, piece of news came from a Square Enix blog post where they got all of the main staff for the game and did little interviews with them. So there's some information that came out of that. I guess I'll get the small ones done first. Motomo Toriyama is co-director of the Final Fantasy VII Remake alongside Naoki Hamaguchi.
Bob, are you shocked?
Not really, but yeah.
What if Red 13 just looks like the dog from Lightning Returns?
I didn't see that you had.
Oh man, that's why they aren't showing him. His power level's too high.
When they got rid of CyberConnect 2 and pushed this as an internal game, they put it in the business division that Motomo Toriyama was the head of. So I assumed that he was probably there in some capacity and possibly like ghost co-directing, but they don't want to talk about him because like at the time 13 was still kind of lingering.
So I'm really excited for the Lightning cameo in this game.
Ooh,
yeah.
It's just Cloud. There will gamer premonition. There will be a way to cross-dress Cloud that makes him look exactly like Lightning.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It'd be a good outfit.
Makes sense for him to be involved because he was involved with 7. Apparently, he was in charge of the entire Don Corneo part of FF7.
Yeah, I vaguely recall that.
Yeah. And the other co-director was involved like with the last thing that they made, which was Mobius Final Fantasy. And did a lot of programming for various mainline games. So we got that. Then there was some Nomura stuff that came out in the interviews. Number one, the first thing he did was he said, all right, so when we're making the Final Fantasy VII compilation, I planned for the 5th game to be a Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I spent a year planning it out, which means that at the latest, he was planning that 11 years ago.
Fucking king. Fucking Ultra Chad.
And all this tells me
here.
is Genesis shall return.
Yeah,
The feelings are still fresh.
When that happened, I figured they'd either do that or just be straight up a Final Fantasy VII sequel. And then there was nothing.
Well, according to you, this is both.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Look, I
is.
had at least 2 responses when I posted this piece of information on Twitter that said, sounds like they're proving Bob right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, yeah, possible, because the 4th game in the compilation was Crisis Core, and that leads into 7 directly.
Yeah.
Like, they recreate the opening scene. So, not shocked that, he totally planned on just remaking it, and then everything exploded over at Square, so they didn't do that, and then they put it on the back burner.
Wasn't there a Final Fantasy VII PS3 tech demo?
Yeah, I was like, wouldn't that line up with the PS3 tech demo?
Yes, and all the people who said, hey, this tech demo's really great, when's the game? And they said, what?
Yeah, and then they played that off for 6 years.
Yeah. I wouldn't. The timeline's close enough to where it's like, oh shit, maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they were hearing that and they wanted to do something for people.
And then they sealed himself in a coffin.
He had to restore his dark energies to he's like, you know what? I'm having a premonition that someone's gonna fuck me and I need to get my revenge. So 10 years from now, my grand revenge plan will begin.
So I've spent this entire podcast searching this up because I needed to see, because I remembered there was something funny about the guy who formerly did the social media stuff for maybe community management for Gearbox.
Oh no.
Person's a social media quote, their own description. Social media guy at GameStop runs multiple podcasts. That's funny as hell.
Mike.
That's funny as hell.
So you're trying to put me into a stun state and I'm shaking out of it. I'm waggling that stick.
Good luck.
Yeah, in terms of other things Namor said in regards to the size of the game, he reiterated that it's a full-fledged big game. There's a lot of content to the point where he told his team to stop. Where he's like, ease up on this a little bit, because apparently it was getting too big, which would match up with what they've been saying since 4 years ago. This will be as big as a mainline Final Fantasy game.
A lot of stuff in the blog post is really interesting too. Like, Motomu Toriyama confirming, yes, they recreated such characters as Johnny and the Shinra middle manager that pisses himself when Barrett comes on the train in the very beginning.
Yes.
These are important details.
And one of the scenarist said this game is going to be jarring for old players because there's so much less room for player imagination because everything they remember is going to be hyper realistic now.
Yeah, it was the scenario writer Nojima who was, yeah.
So you might meet some characters and be like, wow, they are way different than I thought they'd be based on what I made up of that original game.
That was interesting to hear him just go, it's like, you know, you always filled things in your mind now, but we're actually putting it to where there's not going to be much room for that in this because it's not an old game like that. We're able to present everything like a normal AAA game in 2019, 2020.
I'm excited for Sick Guy.
Yeah, Sick Guy's gonna be Raw. He's one of the tattooed dudes.
I'm looking forward to that.
In the bizarre house you have to fight.
Hell House. I want Hell. Show Hell House. Show Hell House.
They keep showing like cartoon ass stuff in this game continuously. It's like, oh, that's it.
Hell House got upgraded to a boss.
Probably. Like they showed the cool cartoony like ghosts. They like showed them in a screenshot for Halloween last month. And it's like, yeah, they're bringing back every enemy.
They showed us that stupid horseless chariot asshole from the train graveyard, and it looks like they made him a boss. So I absolutely believe Hell House will just be a weird boss.
When they continued to have the frog/toad status effect, and you just have a little baby Buster sword on your back. I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be all self-serious, which is a relief. Namor directly talked about how the end of Midgar in the original game ended with the motor or motorball boss fight, and said that's not how this one will be going. They're adding multiple new bosses.
It's going to have to end as a Sephiroth fight.
Yeah, he said multiple new bosses that really liven up the story, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Genesis in there too, right?
Yeah! Nothing can forestall his return.
I'm really excited to see more of Duck Dynasty Soldier. Of all the new characters, he excites me.
Yes, cool soldier guy who was doing motorcycle flip tricks in that trailer a couple months ago. And the last thing that Namor directly said is that they're already working on part 2. which is good. It doesn't look like this first part's going to get delayed on something unless they find something catastrophic.
Yeah, unless there's a rut row.
Yeah, unless there's a Last of Us Part 2.
We don't have to worry about it getting delayed unless they announce a giant press conference with Game Over Greggy there just to announce the release date. Then I'll assume it'll get delayed.
Hey, look, he didn't even Game Over Greg. He didn't even show up to the Final Fantasy 15 announcement party.
He was on that stupid fucking event where they showed the release.
Yeah,
date,
he
though,
was.
That they then had to move.
God, I thought you were just talking about The Last of Us. I thought it was only that one that he showed up for.
No, they did Uncovered Final Fantasy 15. He hosted it alongside one of his co-hosts, and he's like, I'm coming as the guy who doesn't know anything about Final Fantasy.
It was a giant stream just to announce the release date, and it like ended with them revealing the version of Stand By Me they had made for the game. And then it's like, here's boom, release date. It's like an hour and a half long fucking event on a big
Don't worry,
stage.
it wasn't just for the release date. It was to show the release date. It was to show the game to the whole audience and get them hyped up for it. Show off the anime. Show off the movie. They revealed all that, the expanded universe, the mobile games. That shit, it wouldn't stop.
So that sounds like a lot they showed off, whereas other companies recently have done a 24-hour live stream to show off one new design and a broken version of that one new design.
I think Death Stranding did that better, where they're like, here's a stream of hands.
Yeah, and then a trailer appeared at any point.
Yeah, a trailer appeared. I'm like, there's no way this other thing we're talking about would possibly end it without showing a proper trailer. Oh my god.
So I think the bar's been set, gentlemen, for really dumb shit a company wants attention for.
At least Square spends money. At least they throw money into the fire.
Are you guys excited for the PS5 reveal stream where they're going to reveal the first detail? The buttons look the same. Ooh.
I can't wait for the part of the PS5 reveal where Tony Hawk beheads Phil Spencer with a 900.
Yeah, we got several screenshots in the PlayStation blog post showing off various stuff like the weapon and materia system, where they like showed you selecting the Buster Sword, and you could go in there and like spend points to upgrade different aspects of it. Like every weapon has an ability.
It looks almost like the Kingdom Hearts 3 thing, where it's like everything has a use, even if you get new stuff.
Mm-hmm. It also is directly like Birth by Sleep, for example, where every weapon has an ability, and if you master that ability on that weapon, you have the ability forever, and you can switch weapons. And
it's like I guess Final Fantasy 9 would be the Final Fantasy equivalent to bring up,
which also confirmed that the nail bat is also in the game because it was in the menu.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to like combo videos with the nail bat.
I hope it changes his animations for no reason. Just makes them all really fucking stupid.
They showed off a couple screenshots of the dart mini game. I've never seen a dart board in a video game look that nice.
Yeah. I really hope that walking around the slums is just like playing Yakuza, and you just get these unbelievably stupid side quests.
Like they got to fill that game with some like fun side stuff to do, and I'm hoping they actually do some random dumb stuff the way Yakuza actually does it. That would be really neat. Last thing is they just dropped a new summon, or old summon, in the form of Chocobo and Moogle.
Yeah, Chocomog.
Yeah. They showed it off, and it has all the stuff. You can summon an army of them at the end and kill your enemies. The Moogle looks horrifying, kind of looks like a koala now.
Yeah, it is unsettling to see the Moogle in that high fidelity.
It fucked me up. What is this?
Yeah, that Moogle looks hilarious. Okay, so everyone here remembers the famous show The Tester?
Of course.
Yes.
Well, the whole thing with The Tester is a guy, they had like, I don't know, 10 contestants or whatever, and they needed to pass all these challenges, and if they succeeded, they would get to test video games, right? I stumbled across the winner of the first season of the tester. He is a Stadia founder. Still hasn't gotten his Stadia.
Oh,
It's
good.
a fucking week late, and he's like, I'm trying to be supportive. I think streaming is the future for the industry. Where the fuck is my box? I'm just losing it. That's so fucking great. I'm gonna post that shit. Will Powers is hilarious. Anytime shit like this happens to him, I just go, that's a guy from the fucking tester. That's too funny.
This is very unfortunate.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
News.
that's all they showed for that. I imagine a new trailer for FF7 is coming soon, because they usually kind of do that, where they'll drop a lot of screenshots of something, and then they go, all right, here's a trailer that has a good chunk of the stuff you saw there.
I want a hype trailer about menus. Come on, bring it on.
I want a hype trailer where, yeah, they do the quick sizzle reel of menus, but then also the fucking Chocobo summon.
I want
Final Fantasy 13 dog retrofitted to be Red 13.
I want a sizzle reel for menus that has an insanely over the top narration where they're just like, Final Fantasy, the series that invented the ATB system, is here to revolutionize menu design. I
like their announcer from the E3 thing, where he just goes, let's mosey, and he introduced the combat to everybody.
Yeah.
He could probably do that pretty well. That and they've done overview trailers a lot. It's how I learned that Chocobo is pronounced Chocobo.
No.
Yeah, I know. No.
I will
Not at all a fan.
I will go with Chocobo, and I will go with Chocoboo. I will not go with Chocobo. That just seems wrong.
Now, guys, it's pronounced
The second one's just
Chocolina.
wrong. There's no boo. It's Bo.
No. I you got to go all one way or all the other. You can't half and half this shit.
All right.
Either every syllable is different.
Anyway, in terms of news, we're all done because
Because Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Thanksgiving pushed this earlier.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, like, jack shit's happening except for Phil Spencer saying, VR is not a thing. Like, that's not even
I don't
actually...
believe it exists.
VR's the funniest feature we've never had. Now, if only we could get it to work.
God damn it. Can you imagine George Lucas, decided to run a game company?
Oh, God. That would be
I
the only
wish.
thing somehow worse than Stadia, but it would be entertaining at least.
What if they're like, we really wanted to work on, big technological leaps in our new game. George, could you come and, talk on stage at E3 as our celebrity guest?
I like the idea of George Lucas having his own platform, Bob, and then he gets some indie studio to make a game featuring all black people, and then he locks game journalists in a room with him as he talks about how progressive he is. I think that's delightful.
You see, I was just thinking it'd be great to have him on the couch talking to Jeff.
I want him on the couch with Elon Musk. Who was on the couch with Elon at E3? Do you remember, Bob?
No, I don't remember.
That was
Todd
really...
Howard.
Thank you. I knew it was some
Todd
fucking
Howard,
insane.
Elon Musk at that Jeff Keighley thing.
What?
And then somebody in the audience is like, what's the thing you regret the most that didn't quite work out the way you wanted? And him and fucking Elon just stare at each other like, don't falter. Don't answer this question. It's just dead silence for 20 seconds as they stare at each other. It's so fucking funny.
Elon Musk, big fan of Halo.
He's
I
Elon Musk.
see.
Elon Musk,
Yeah, the truck.
a big fan of paying $1,000 for PS Triple on launch day.
Please stop bringing that up.
No, that's funny.
Stop talking about the PS3 launch. It's like looking into your past as a drug addict.
Hey,
What are you talking about? He's the pre-orders didn't exist and the internet didn't exist. He'd still be that guy.
I mean,
If the PS5 is even 70% as good as Dan thinks it'll be, he'll become that guy anyway.
look, guys, here's the thing. I'm actually kind of scared how the PS5 launch is going to go if it executes on any of the things that it looks like it will, because this might be the most in-demand shit since the PS3 era. Because we've had it nice since then. Things haven't been crazy sold out. I don't want to go back.
The only time I think of shit is flying off the shelves is like the Wii.
Yeah. Yeah, the Wii, man, they just couldn't fucking produce enough of those, rather.
The Wii was out of fucking stock for like 4 years. It was insane.
That's why I couldn't get one. Like, we tried for a straight month, because I wanted one to get, like, Brawl and stuff, and then I just ended up getting an Xbox, because there's no hope left.
I remember actually, somehow I ended up getting
and then it red ringed after 3 weeks.
That's pretty accurate. Yeah, that's the usual experience. I remember I was able to get a pre-order for the Wii, but somehow I wasn't able to get one for the PS3.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's just...
So we did that nightmare for the PS3. The next week, the Wii came out, and I was able to just go to GameStop at like 10 in the morning when they opened.
Yeah, it's funny. Between the two launch experiences, I had more fun with the Wii, which is fucking insane, because if you ask me, hey, Dan, what did you play on the Wii? I'm like, the NES Classic Pinball.
Yeah, we like locked aggro in my house.
Yeah,
for
that was
10 hours or something. I don't remember what happened. It was weird.
It was funny as hell. We still make reference to shit we said completely out of our gourds that day. Just fucking staying up playing the Wii. It's just fucking... But yeah, no. Anyway. Well, you know why the PS3 experience wasn't better, Bob?
Why's that, Dan?
Because it was a box full of lies.
Yeah, no, it was even from the outset, like at launch, it was already obvious how much they lied to us. The store was the web browser.
The store was a web page. The fucking, you couldn't bring up the home menu in game.
Yeah.
You couldn't do any number of the things they said you could do, and it was like, this is fucking insane. How the hell are you gonna launch this? But yeah, anyway, I guess that's all the news for this week. We have Star Wars going on for the next week, so every day should be a new video about Star Wars, so please look forward to that. KZ, what do you have going on?
The Fire Emblem still won't leave my life. I've been trying to get it to go away, and every time it says no. It's very strange.
It's going to be very funny when you finish this next route, and then they announce a DLC route.
Oh,
I'm well aware. You see, the difference is if a DLC route is new content, and I'm not replaying the first 30 hours of the game 3 times.
Oh, you'll still have to play that first same 30 hours.
If that happens, I'll be like, hey guys, I'm not showing you shit until we get to the new stuff. I'm done, man. I recorded episode 102 today. A fourth of these episodes are an hour.
I'm turning into a raisin.
Yeah,
okay, I'm almost reaching the time skip, which means I'll finally see new content on this third route.
That's insane. You don't get any different content until the time skip?
Yeah, all the missions are the same, Bob. And
wow.
All the little side quests in the little area, the exact same side quests. All the dialogue is the same.
Wow.
The only changing thing is the supports, because you have different conversations to have with different students. And then you realize that most of the main missions in the first half of the game, they gave plot importance to characters in one house, but not the other two. So if you play that one first, which I'm pretty sure you picked that one, the other ones just feel unfinished.
Yeah, they get cutscenes and stuff that the other two don't.
So that just comes off a little bit strange. But
it literally feels like they made one route, started on the second, and then someone went, how about instead of 2, 4? And then everything went to shit.
Still enjoying it. If I did not like this game, I would have stopped at 2. But I'm like, it's all right. We can burn through this. Get it done. I started a LP of Trails in the Sky the Third. That's been all right. I'll probably talk about it when I'm far enough in it.
Okay.
Because I haven't played very much of that yet. But that's started up, and the some Pokemon Shield Nuzlocke stuff has been going up. So a lot of content on the channel finally.
Hooray!
Get out of the hole of being trampled by the month of November.
Yeah,
where
the
it's
month
like
of
I could
November
report
was
this thing, but I have to play Death Stranding as quickly as possible.
And then construction.
Oh, that knocked out a literal entire week of my life. They're back. They're coming back in 11 hours. So what do you got going on, Feel? Feel?
Thanks for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. This show, like our other podcasts, is only possible with the generous time our co-hosts have given to us and the equipment we've bought to make it higher quality and easier to produce. Please consider supporting our podcast series on our GigaBoots podcast Patreon and look forward to more gamer premonitions and Big Think Dimension in the future. The GigaBoots videos for this holiday season have been brought to you by our generous executive producers, Vincent Pover, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Dryzart, Red Blaze 27, and Dandy Cageford. Thank you very much to our incredibly important executive producers. And also these guys. If you want to join the fight for good content, then go support us on patreon.com/gigaboots to become an executive producer today.